The return of the speech police on the internet. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. If you're like me, you thought that the days of the internet being policed for what you said was pretty much over after the repeal of Section 13 of Canada's Human Rights Act, the one that the hurt feelings on the internet provision, the one that was used to go after people like Mark Steyn. Well, that isn't the case. A story that I wished I'd heard more about, a story that's been going on for a couple of years now, and still is going on in Toronto. It involves a woman named Stephanie Guthrie who had a man named Gregory Allen Elliott charged with criminal harassment over what he said to her on Twitter. Here's the thing. Even the police involved in the case admit that Gregory Allen Elliott, Mr. Elliott, did not actually threaten the woman. He didn't sexually harass her at all. So why is he being charged? Why is he on trial? And why could he face jail time over something he said on Twitter? Well, he disagreed with a feminist, and she said that she felt unsafe. A little bit of backstory here. Gregory Allen Elliott and Stephanie Guthrie knew each other. They had talked about working together, but she decided he wasn't the person for her. She described in court, according to several news media reports, that he seemed creepy. So she didn't want to work with him, but she stayed in touch with him. Cordial email conversations, cordial conversations on Twitter. And then something changed. There was a young man in Northern Ontario who developed a video game that allowed people to punch a feminist in the face until the screen turned red. The feminist name is Anita Sarkeesian. She's a Canadian-American blogger and author and feminist activist. I think that's a pretty dumb move. It's not something I would condone at all, but Stephanie Guthrie decided that she wanted to use the internet to publicly shame this man, to go after him, to make him feel the consequences of what he was doing in his real life. These are the things she said, and she went after the guy on Twitter. She talked about how he could be publicly shamed. She tried to get him fired from jobs. Gregory Allen Elliott decided this isn't the best way to go about it. He disagreed with her. They had a heated discussion on Twitter. Eventually, she blocked him when he started using the hashtag fascist feminists. And for all of this, he's facing criminal charges of harassment for having a disagreement with someone in a spirited debate. Now, think about this. He is facing charges for criminally harassing a woman who wanted to harass someone out of existence. One of Elliott's reasons for saying don't go after this guy on Twitter is, what if you harass him? What if you bully him so much he commits suicide? That was irrelevant to Miss Guthrie, apparently, who just wanted to make this young man feel pain. It's a bizarre world that we live in right now, where what you say online that doesn't involve actually calling for someone to feel pain, for actually calling for physical violence against someone, can land you in hot water. I hope that the judge in this trial sides with the defense attorneys who say you cannot be policing what amounts to a high school spat on the internet in the courts. This isn't the proper role for the courts, and if it isn't thrown out, if it isn't dismissed, then we really are losing free speech. It's been eroded several times, including the Whatcott decision at the Supreme Court, that effectively said, even if what you say is true, if you say it in a mean way, then that can amount to hate speech. The Supreme Court ruling there was despicable, and there have been others as well. But if we get to this point where disagreeing with the preferred victim will land you with criminal harassment charges, then we may as well give up the ghost. We may as well admit that the Charter of Rights and Freedoms means nothing, that all these things that are up there, the freedom of religion, freedom of conscience, freedom of expression, freedom of the press, that they are effectively nothing other than suggestions until you offend the wrong person. That will be a sad day. Now, the court has reserved judgment for now, and we'll wait and see where it goes. I have to admit that I didn't see this enough. I didn't bring enough coverage to this, but that'll change now, and we'll continue to follow it. I don't know if Gregory Allen Elliott is the perfect victim or if Stephanie Guthrie is, but the fact is that shouldn't be up for the courts to be discussing. It shouldn't be up for the courts to decide. We live in a country that says it believes in free speech. Let's pray the court makes the right decision here.